Negative thinking. It's a silent saboteur that creeps into our minds, undermining confidence, draining motivation, and steering us away from our goals. Almost everyone has experienced that inner voice that whispers doubts, fears, and what-ifs. But what if you could learn to silence that voice? What if there was a powerful, time-tested way to stop sabotaging yourself and reclaim control over your mind? For thousands of years, Stoic philosophers have grappled with the same internal battles we face today. Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all understood the destructive nature of negative thinking. They didn't just talk about overcoming these thoughts. They developed practical techniques to transform the mind and find peace amidst chaos. This isn't about positive thinking cliches or superficial affirmations. It's about hard, real mental work that rewires how you perceive and react to the world around you. Stoicism offers a toolkit for mental mastery, helping you identify destructive patterns, dismantle them, and replace them with clarity and calm. Think about the times when your own thoughts became your worst enemy, moments when fear stopped you from trying, or self-doubt convinced you to quit. These moments are more common than we admit, yet they don't have to define us. Understanding how the mind works, especially through the Stoic lens, can give you the upper hand. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest leaders, faced immense pressure, war, and personal loss. Yet his meditations reveal a mind disciplined to battle negativity and focus on what truly matters. His life is a testament to the power of mental resilience. This video will guide you through Stoic techniques that you can apply immediately to challenge negative thinking. You'll learn how to observe your thoughts without judgment, challenge irrational fears, and replace destructive patterns with empowering habits. If you've ever felt stuck in a loop of negative thoughts or self-sabotage, this message is for you. Because when you stop the mental sabotage, you unlock a new level of freedom, productivity, and peace. So get ready to take back control. Your mind is the battlefield, and Stoicism is your weapon. Let's dive into the timeless wisdom that can stop negative thinking in its tracks. Intro. Negative thinking often feels like an uncontrollable force, a dark cloud that settles over our minds and colors everything we do. It's not just annoying, it's debilitating. It chips away at your confidence, saps your energy, and keeps you trapped in cycles of worry and regret. But what if you could train your mind to fight back? What if you could use the teachings of Stoic philosophy to conquer these thoughts? Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This simple yet profound truth reminds us that our internal dialogue shapes our experience of life. If your thoughts are negative and chaotic, your life will feel that way. But if you can master your thoughts, you gain power over your emotions and actions. Stoicism teaches us that negative thoughts are not facts, they are interpretations. They arise automatically but can be examined and challenged. Instead of blindly accepting them, you learn to question their validity and utility. This mental discipline is the foundation of Stoic resilience. Imagine you wake up feeling overwhelmed by a flood of worries. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts feel real and threatening, but the Stoics would urge you to pause and ask, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Can I control it? This moment of questioning creates a space for reason to intervene. Stoicism also emphasizes focusing on what is within your control. You cannot control external events or other people's opinions, but you can control your judgments and responses. Negative thinking often stems from focusing on what we cannot change, which only fuels frustration and anxiety. Through daily Stoic practices like journaling, reflection, and mindfulness, you can develop awareness of your thought patterns. This awareness allows you to catch negativity early and redirect your mind toward rational, constructive thinking. The journey to kill negative thinking isn't about perfection but progress. It's about building mental habits that make you more resilient, calm, and purposeful. Like any skill, it takes practice, patience, and persistence. By the end of this video, you'll have actionable Stoic tools to stop self-sabotage, gain clarity, and foster a mindset that serves your highest goals. The power to change your mind and your life is in your hands. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Recognizing the enemy. What is negative thinking? Negative thinking often feels like an invisible, relentless enemy inside your own mind. It's that voice that magnifies your fears, highlights your failures, and tells you you're not enough. Maybe it's the nagging doubt that ruins your day or the anxious loop that keeps you awake at night. But before you can defeat this enemy, you need to recognize it clearly. Negative thinking is more than just feeling down occasionally. It's a pattern, a cycle of destructive thoughts that feed on themselves, pulling you deeper into self-doubt, anxiety, and helplessness. You might catch yourself thinking, "I'm a failure, nothing ever goes right," or "I'll never be happy." These aren't just passing thoughts, they're traps. Marcus Aurelius knew this all too well. He called these destructive thoughts judgments, reminding us that they are our mind's interpretations, not facts. His wisdom gives us hope because if these thoughts are judgments, they can be questioned, challenged, and changed. Think about your own mind. How often do you accept negative thoughts as truth without scrutiny? How often do these thoughts sabotage your potential before you even try? This chapter urges you to become aware of these patterns, the first step toward reclaiming your mental freedom. You might feel trapped by your own mind, and that's a deeply painful place to be. The weight of negativity can paralyze you from taking action, leave you isolated, and erode your self-worth. But awareness of this enemy is the first victory. Negative thinking isn't you. It's a force you can learn to control. Stoicism offers tools to help you observe these thoughts with detachment, to see them as passing clouds rather than permanent storms. As you become aware, you'll begin to notice triggers, stress, fear, past wounds, that feed negative thinking. This understanding empowers you to intervene and not be swept away by emotional waves. This chapter sets the foundation. Recognize negative thinking as the real enemy and prepare to fight it with wisdom and strength. Chapter 2. The pain of self-sabotage, when your mind works against you. One of the cruelest aspects of negative thinking is how it leads to self-sabotage. Have you ever found yourself standing in your own way? Maybe you procrastinate, avoid opportunities, or talk yourself out of success. It's as if your mind is conspiring to keep you small. This self-sabotage isn't just frustrating, it's painful. It creates a vicious cycle where you feel disappointed in yourself, which fuels more negativity. You start believing that failure is inevitable and that you don't deserve better. Stoicism teaches us to be warriors of our own minds, not prisoners. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Self-sabotage is the result of losing mastery over your thoughts and emotions. The pain here is deeply human. You want to move forward, but your mind's negative scripts hold you back. You might feel guilt, shame, or even anger toward yourself. These emotions only deepen the wounds. Imagine a warrior entering battle, but their own weapon is turned inward. That's what self-sabotage looks like. The battle is not against external foes but within the mind itself. The good news: mastering your mind is possible. You can learn to spot the triggers and patterns that lead to self-sabotage and slowly dismantle them through Stoic techniques. This chapter digs into the emotional pain of being your own worst enemy and prepares you to reclaim control through mental discipline and self-compassion. Chapter 3. The power of observation, becoming the witness to your thoughts. One of the most revolutionary Stoic techniques for killing negative thinking is becoming the observer of your own mind. Instead of being swept away by every passing thought, you learn to step back and watch your thoughts objectively. Imagine you're watching a movie. You notice the drama, the conflicts, but you are not emotionally overwhelmed by the scenes. This is how Stoicism teaches us to watch our mental movies. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This means your first job is to watch your mind, not be controlled by it. Why is this so powerful? Because negative thoughts often come and go like waves. If you dive into every wave, you drown. But if you learn to surf by watching them without reacting, you stay afloat. Emotionally, this takes practice. At first, you might feel overwhelmed by the flood of negative thoughts. But with patience, you develop the ability to recognize these thoughts as separate from your identity. This detachment does not mean you suppress or deny your feelings. Instead, you acknowledge them without being ruled by them. You create mental space to choose your response. This chapter teaches the essential skill of mindful observation, the foundation for transforming your inner dialogue. Chapter 4. Challenging your thoughts, the Stoic questioning method. Awareness alone isn't enough to kill negative thinking. The next step is active interrogation, challenging the validity of your negative thoughts. Stoics believed in questioning judgments to dismantle false beliefs. Epictetus instructed us to ask, is this true? Is this within my control? What evidence supports this thought? This method helps you expose irrational fears and replace them with reasoned perspectives. Take an example. You think, I'm going to fail. Ask yourself, is this certain? Have I failed before or succeeded despite fear? You might find that the fear is exaggerated or based on assumptions. Emotionally, challenging your thoughts can feel uncomfortable at first. It requires honesty and courage to confront deeply held beliefs, especially those rooted in past pain. But it's also liberating. When you realize a negative thought is just a story, you regain freedom. You're no longer a victim of your mind's worst predictions. This chapter focuses on strengthening your mental muscles through consistent questioning, turning negative thoughts into stepping stones instead of stumbling blocks. You'll learn how to build a habit of rational reflection that empowers you daily. Chapter 5. Control what you can, focusing your energy wisely. One of the greatest Stoic insights is the distinction between what you can and cannot control. Much of negative thinking arises from obsessing over things beyond your influence. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not events outside it." Focusing on what you cannot control drains your energy and feeds frustration. Picture worrying about the weather before an important event. You can't change the weather, but you can control your preparation and attitude. This mindset shift is vital. Emotionally, accepting limits can feel like surrender, but Stoicism reframes it as empowerment. You free your mind to act where it matters. Negative thinking often fixates on the uncontrollable, what others think, past mistakes, or uncertain futures. Stoicism calls you back to the present, to your own agency. This chapter helps you identify where your energy is wasted and teaches you to redirect it toward actionable, controllable aspects of your life. The result is greater peace and productive focus. Chapter 6. Reframing pain, seeing negative thoughts as opportunities. Pain and negative thoughts aren't just obstacles, they are invitations to growth. Stoics teach us to reframe suffering as a challenge to become stronger. Seneca said, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." When negative thoughts arise, view them as signals that your mind needs training. This reframing helps you move from victimhood to empowerment. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you ask, "What can I learn?" The story of Nelson Mandela's imprisonment shows this beautifully. Despite harsh conditions, Mandela used his suffering to develop inner strength and vision. Emotionally, this shift doesn't erase pain but transforms your relationship to it. You become curious and proactive rather than defeated. This chapter invites you to see your mind's struggles as a forge for character and resilience. You'll learn how to turn negative thinking into fuel for personal evolution. Chapter 7. Daily Stoic Practices to Silence Negativity. Killing negative thinking isn't a one-time act. It requires daily practice. Stoicism provides concrete habits to rewire your mind gradually. Journaling is one such practice. Marcus Aurelius' meditations were daily reflections on his thoughts and actions, reinforcing positive mental patterns. Another powerful practice is morning reflection, setting intentions to face challenges calmly and rationally. Negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios, prepares your mind for adversity and reduces fear. Emotionally, consistent practice builds resilience and confidence. You begin to anticipate challenges with preparedness rather than dread. This chapter offers practical steps you can start today, creating momentum toward mental mastery. With repetition, these habits shift your default thinking from negative to empowering. Chapter 8. Embracing Failure, the Stoic Approach to Setbacks. Failure is one of the greatest triggers for negative thinking. Stoicism, however, teaches us to embrace failure as a natural and necessary part of growth. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." Failure offers lessons if you approach it with an open mind. Consider Thomas Edison, who made thousands of attempts before inventing the light bulb. His mindset was that every failure brought him closer to success. Emotionally, embracing failure reduces fear and shame. You learn to see setbacks as feedback rather than defeat. This chapter helps you transform your relationship to failure, reducing negative thinking triggered by mistakes. You'll gain tools to persevere with courage and learn from every setback. Chapter 9. Cultivating Self-Compassion, the Balance to Stoic Discipline. Stoicism is often seen as rigid discipline, but it also requires kindness toward yourself. Negative thinking can be harsh and cruel. Self-compassion softens this blow. Seneca advised treating yourself as a friend, offering patience and forgiveness for human flaws. Emotionally, self-compassion reduces shame and guilt that fuel negativity. It creates a supportive inner environment for change. You're not your thoughts or your past failures. You are a human deserving of grace. This chapter teaches how to balance strict mental discipline with gentle self-kindness. You'll learn to replace self-criticism with encouragement, making your journey sustainable. Chapter 10. The Freedom of a Mastered Mind, Living Beyond Negativity. The ultimate goal of Stoicism is freedom, the freedom from being controlled by negative thoughts and emotions. Marcus Aurelius lived this freedom. Despite immense challenges, he remained calm, clear, and purposeful because he mastered his mind. Imagine living each day without the weight of self-doubt, fear, or inner criticism. That is the power you can achieve. Emotionally, this freedom brings peace, confidence, and joy. This chapter paints a vision of what life looks like beyond negative thinking. It inspires you to commit fully to the Stoic path, promising transformation and liberation. The mastery of your mind is the greatest victory you can achieve. As we reach the final stages of this journey, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. You started by recognizing negative thinking as a formidable enemy, and now you hold powerful tools to fight it. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but each step you take toward mental mastery builds an unshakable foundation. Remember, killing negative thinking is not about erasing all difficult thoughts. It's about changing your relationship with them. Stoicism teaches us that thoughts are not facts. They are events passing through your mind. You've learned to watch, challenge, and redirect these thoughts with clarity and courage. Many people live in the shadows of their own minds, shackled by fears, regrets, and doubts. But you are choosing to step into the light of awareness and action. This choice alone marks you as someone ready to reclaim control and build a life of purpose and resilience. The Stoics remind us that suffering is part of the human condition, but it doesn't have to define us. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, betrayal, and loss, but never allowed negativity to dominate his spirit. His example shows us that inner peace and strength come from discipline and wisdom. As you move forward, understand that setbacks will come. Negative thoughts may return, they always do, but now you have the mental habits to meet them head-on. You will grow stronger with each encounter, more skilled at turning obstacles into opportunities. This isn't just about fighting negative thinking. It's about designing a mindset that serves you no matter what life throws your way. By mastering your mind, you unlock the power to choose your responses, find peace, and create a meaningful life. You're not alone on this journey. Stoicism is a path walked by millions before you, and by joining this practice, you connect with a tradition of strength, wisdom, and freedom. Let their stories inspire you to keep going. So take a deep breath, steady your resolve, and prepare to embrace the next phase. The battle for your mind is yours to win. The strength within you is waiting to be fully realized. Outro 8 paragraphs. Thank you for investing your time and attention to mastering your mind and killing negative thinking. The path you've embarked on is challenging but deeply rewarding. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your challenges are not barriers, they are gateways to growth. By applying the Stoic techniques we've explored, observation, questioning, focusing on what you can control, and daily practice, you're building resilience that will serve every area of your life. This mental training transforms suffering into strength and chaos into clarity. Imagine waking up free from the weight of self-doubt, free to pursue your goals with confidence and calm. This isn't a distant dream, it's a possibility within your reach. Your mind is your most valuable asset, and with these tools, you are its master. You have learned that negative thoughts are not truths but fleeting judgments, that failure is a teacher, and that self-compassion is essential. These lessons prepare you to face any adversity with dignity and courage. Remember the stories of Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and other great Stoics who lived with immense challenges but remained unshaken. Their lives prove that mastery of the mind is the greatest power one can possess. Your journey doesn't end here. It is a lifelong practice of growth, reflection, and discipline. Return to these principles whenever you feel overwhelmed or uncertain. They will steady you, sharpen your perspective, and guide you forward. You have everything it takes to live a life free from mental sabotage. Keep practicing, keep questioning, and keep growing. The freedom and peace you seek are inside you, waiting to be claimed. So rise with strength, step into your power, and live as the master of your mind. The world needs your resilience, your clarity, and your courage. Summary. Today, we've journeyed deep into the heart of negative thinking, exploring what it is and how it silently sabotages your potential. You've learned that negative thoughts are judgments, not facts, and recognizing this is the first step toward freedom. We explored the emotional pain of self-sabotage and how it creates cycles of fear, doubt, and paralysis. But you discovered that this cycle can be broken by becoming a witness to your thoughts, watching them without judgment or immediate reaction. You learned to challenge your negative beliefs using Stoic questioning, turning irrational fears into reasoned perspectives. This mental discipline helps reclaim control from the chaos of anxious or pessimistic thinking. The power of focusing on what is within your control became clear. By letting go of what you cannot change, you conserve energy for meaningful action and reduce frustration and despair. Reframing pain as an opportunity for growth shifts your mindset from victimhood to empowerment, using suffering as a forge for resilience and wisdom. Daily Stoic practices like journaling, reflection, and negative visualization were introduced as tools to build a stronger mind over time. We also emphasized embracing failure as part of the journey, learning from setbacks, and cultivating self-compassion to balance discipline with kindness toward yourself. Finally, you were invited to envision the freedom that comes from mastering your mind, A life where negativity no longer dictates your emotions or choices, but where you stand calm, clear, and powerful. Now it's time to take what you've learned and put it into action. Choose one Stoic technique from this video, whether it's observing your thoughts, challenging negative beliefs, or practicing daily reflection, and commit to applying it every day for the next 30 days. Consistency is key. Real change doesn't happen in a day, but with persistence, you will start to notice shifts in how you think, feel, and respond to life's challenges. Keep a journal to track your progress and reflect on your growth. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button and share it with someone who struggles with negative thinking. Your support helps spread this ancient wisdom and build a community dedicated to mental strength. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos that deepen your understanding and equip you with more tools for life mastery. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below sharing your biggest takeaway, challenges you face with negative thoughts, or any personal victories you experience on this journey. Remember, you are not alone. Millions walk this path of mental discipline and growth. Let's support each other in building a life free from the chains of negativity. Your mind is your greatest asset and your most important battleground. The effort you invest now will pay dividends in every area of your life: relationships, work, health, and peace of mind. So stand tall, take control, and begin the powerful process of killing negative thinking. The journey is yours to lead. I believe in your strength. Now it's time for you to believe in it too.